Yo, this is WSoul13 bringing you Raid Shadow Legends on a treadmill. And today, we're going to be doing something a little bit frivolous. So, alright, let's talk about the kind of like the economy of Raid's shard events right now, alright? So one of the things that you'll notice is the guaranteed champ events are happening practically every week now. So I think last week they did the guaranteed void Lego for the first time ever. Now this week they're gonna do a guaranteed ancient shard Lego, right? So let's put aside the champs real quick. Just how are you supposed to look at these things that they're doing? So they did an extra legendary event for sacred shards, and then they're doing a guaranteed legendary for ancient shards. Okay. In my opinion, I really like guaranteed legendaries the best. The reason why is they're pretty good value in the most part. There are some that have been really bad, you know, but I think like Kyoku, it's really good to have on account. Wheatear is really good to have on account. So those have been really good. And then I think the last one they did for Ancient Shards was Archmage Penthroid, which I think you could argue is kind of mediocre, but he does have a very niche function, which is he's pretty good in Hydra Boss. And the other one right now is that they did recently was Riho Bone Spear or Bone Spear? Riho Bone Spear. She is actually kind of like the super utility champ, you know? I mean, she is a Void Legendary, so you expect Void Legendaries to be good. But I think Riho she does qualify as being good in terms of the amount of debuffs she can do and all that, but she's not necessarily like an account defining type of champ, you know, not quite like City or Chris, you know, like the truly top tier champs. And I don't expect Plarium to give away those kinds of champs for these guaranteed events. So mostly you're going to get either kind of a utility champ, or in this case they're giving us a brand new champ, right? So let's dive right into the event. And so what are we doing? We're doing a 10x first of all, right? As usual, if it's 10x, don't even look at the legendaries. I mean, if you get lucky, great. For the most part, you're not going to be lucky. That's just the way it is. So they're giving away Demitha and Warcaster as Void Legendaries. We're not going to go through their kits because, one, you already know that they're both viable, unkillable champs. The only thing is, I think what's his name? Warcaster? Warcaster, I think, probably needs another one, maybe? Support turn cooldown. I'm not sure if you can make Warcaster work by himself. I think you need a stun target that's unkillable for this to work by itself. And then the Mytha can work by herself because it's a 3-turn cooldown when booked out. And there's so many comps around this right now. If you already have the Mytha, great. If you don't have the Mytha, this could be a good chance to gamble for one. So the only thing is, gambling for Void Epics in 10x is a little bit risky. You could literally go 20 deep on your Void Shards, 20 deep, without pulling a single epic. So it's a pretty substantial gamble if you're looking to pull at least one epic. If not, then maybe you'll be at I don't know, you'll set a number, maybe like 5, maybe 3, maybe 2, maybe 1. You get an epic raid. If you don't, then that's it. Quick, right? The other two are for Ancients and Sacreds, I think. And it's Geomancer and Venomage. So Geo is probably right now the best Ancient Shard epic in the game. Yeah, I'd say he's up there as one of the best, if not the best, epic in the game. And the reason why is because of this skill, the HP burn, and combined with the passive, which allows him to deal a lot of damage against bosses, plus give you mitigation, plus give you turn meter reduction, you know. And then the A1s are actually pretty good. It's an AoE on that A1 with decreased accuracy, you know. And then to top it all off, you can also take buffs away. So, you know, like, I think Geomancer is probably one of the best epics they've ever made for the game. And the ability to get him here, you know, is really, really good for anybody. So that's an easy gamble right there. You should try to gamble. Try to get Geomancer. Like maybe one epic deep into your Ancients or one Sacred Shard, that's fine. Venomage, on the other hand, is quite good as well, but it's not quite Geomancer level of like of ridiculousness, you know. But she's still pretty good. So she puts decreased defense and decreased attack. So she's really good on like a traditional clan boss team. And then she puts heal reduction and 2 poisons. And then I think her A1 detonates poisons, right? Yep. Yeah, and then they have a 35% chance of activating 2 poison debuffs on the target. So he has the ability to detonate some poisons there. And then enemies under heal reduction inflict 50% less damage. So your heal reduction debuff becomes not so useless in Clanos anymore because you get damage mitigation. So she pairs well with buff extension champs. I mean debuff extension champs, sorry. Like Vizier or Bulwark. Whew. So, oh, I forgot my watch today. I'm so used to having my watch. Anyways, how should you see these guaranteed? So now we're doing a guaranteed for what's this, a new champ? Raf-Matab. What is this? Guy or lady? Okay, whatever. So Raf-Matab is the new champ. It's gonna be a it's gonna be like a tank. Very good for progression. Right? So if you're kind of like a low spender player and you have 10,000 gems on your account, I mean it's very possible. If you've been buying a lot of the monthly gem packs, you know, and you're kind of like not really getting anywhere in the game progression-wise, this is actually not bad. It's not great, so I don't recommend going for Raf-Matab, to be honest. All right, but there is the upside of you, one, getting a chance at another legendary other than him, because you'll be pulling 120 Ancients. And those 2 legendaries that have 10x on, while the chances are really slim, they're actually really, really good. Martyr and Underpriest Brogni. So you can get either of them, you'll be in a great place in your account. And then the 2 epics that are on 10x, there's a very good chance that you get while trying to draw for a Raf-Matab. Those could really, really help your account. So, you know, it's kind of like a pretty clear risk-reward ratio here for Raf-Matab, I think. So he's more like a provoke, and then also puts the increased resistance on the team. Oh, actually, you know what? There is something about Raf-Matab I forgot to talk about, which is it this skill? 50% resistance on all allies, 30% reflect damage on all allies. Yeah. So it's increased resistance plus reflect damage, which is kind of okay in Fire Knight. It's not the best, but it's okay. and increased cooldown. So that's kind of a thing in Eternal Dragon, not really, but yeah, could be if you build your team around that. I've always ignored that portion of Eternal Dragon, and I've finished Eternal Dragon 121 hard, so that's not really the angle I went for, and I still got it anyway. So how you should see guaranteed champ events is kind of like, this is what you save up your shards for on top of the fusion events. So if you play the game the way I suggest, which is you run through your account, playing mostly through free champs, and opening as sparingly as possible, right? Playing through the fusion events. You'll still open shards because in fusion events you open shards. And then 2x, you know, in between, you could open some shards through 2x, and that's fine. But in general, you're skipping every 2x and 10x event in between the fusion events. Eventually, you're gonna stockpile a lot of shards. So 120 ancients might seem like a lot right now to you, especially if you're just starting. But like once you're farming Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, this number is actually not that hard to do. Yeah, granted that farming Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss is really, really hard for a lot of people that don't have Unkillable, you know, just the way the game is. There's no linear path to scale up the Ultra Nightmare, unfortunately, right now, the way the game is. But, like I said, the majority of my come up in raid was I just farmed Nightmare Clan Boss. And I was perfectly fine. I was still able to get shards. I was able to participate in every fusion event from Skull Lord Valgal, I think. I was like probably like 150 days in when I did that fusion. Granted, that was a pure energy fusion, so that was pretty easy to do. But the fusion after that I was able to do, and every other fusion ever since. You know, so Nightmare Clan Boss is enough to get fusion events. I think that's pretty much a given. Just play the game. Hold on, my shoelace came untied. Alright. So, since I'm on a totally different level in the game, right, I'm going to show you what pulls are like for an end game player like me who decides to go for stuff like this. So, for me, I feel like it's pretty safe for me to go for this 120 right here. I'll have 82, and including my gems and the time in between, I should be within striking distance of a 150. If they put a 150 out, that's really, really good, you know. So for me, I'm gonna take this chance to add this increased resistance champ to my account, just in case it becomes useful later. So this is kind of like an end game thing. So here we go. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Who is this epic right here? Rear Guard Sergeant. That's a really good one. Lady Quillen. Okay. So 3 epics. That's really, really good. Way above average. I actually don't know if there's a summon rush for this event or a champ chase. I haven't checked. Okay, so there's a 10 pull without. So there's no points coming up, so it's a summon rush probably. There's a 10 pull without an epic, so that's a thing. That's going to happen a lot. It's going to be cool for events like this. And then also the 10x epic, if you've noticed, we've had 4 epics already. Haven't pulled a single one. So the 10x for epics is actually way harder to get than you think. Because there's a lot more epics now in the game. But it's also true that there's a lot more epics in the game that are really, really good. Like Doom Priest and Sandlash Survivor. Those 2 are really, really good. You know? So this is a very above average pull outside of 2x. Oh, I got my first 10x epic. How many shards deep was that? Geomancer and Andolf. It's actually not bad. So we're 50 ancients deep, and then I finally got Geomancer. So good. I already have Geomancer on this account. I'm talking about like I triggered the 10x, right? So let's see what else we got. Or maybe I should say the 10x paid off, because the 10x is already activated, right? You're gonna keep doing this until you get to 0, maybe, and then I'll have to make the weird decision of, oh, we got a legendary. It's Yoshi. Oh man, that's terrible. One, I already have one, and two, it's. I mean, Shadowkin is not bad to have a legendary dupe up, because that plus 10% HP is gonna come in handy for your ninja if you have a ninja. You know, but Yoshi is pretty disappointing. Right, so this is why fusion events are even more impactful now, in my opinion, because they've diluted the pool to the point where you're gonna pull a lot of fusion legendaries as your legendaries. Plus side now is if you already have them, they're automatically a dupe, which means you get a free faction guardian level for that faction, which could be big. So here's the question. I think I need about 50 more slots. Do I pay 5 times 5, 25, 3,000 gems to get 50 extra slots? Or do I just 3,000 gems, that's 30 rares? Or do I just feed the 50 rares to get those spots open? That's a tough choice. I feel like the math roughly favors just spending the gems to open up the slots. Yeah, I'm doing this on the fly, so I'm not really sure. But, you know, I might want the gems on hand for something else. I'm just gonna feed some rares. This is kind of the painful part. I gotta feed some rares to my right there. There we go. Stop this a little bit. So let's feed some rares to my Archbishop Pinteroy. So I got 12 right there. Let's count exactly how many more we need. So we need 50, and I have 10 right now. So I need to come up with 40 spaces. So I gotta sacrifice, I think 36 champs to get Exacxes, right? I think Exacxes is fine with me. Let's go with 36 champs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and here we go, 36. That should be enough, right? Man. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna keep this pull going. Hopefully we get a little bit lucky. All right, let's start the treadmill up again. And here we go. So we reset the Mercy, right? So we're at 50 deep in the Mercy after this, if I don't pull another legendary. And a lot of my epic luck has gone away, which is expected, you know. Alright, so I got another epic right there, 2 epics. Who we got? Bold Painted. Alright, so she's getting a buff. She might actually be decent now. Not amazing, but decent. And maybe in the right comp, if people figure it out, could be downright good. So they're buffing her. Oh, hi Katu, the dupe. Right. I think we got 2 more. Alright. So to me this was an easy decision because I have a lot of shards. And how you get a lot of shards is you just skip 2x. And 10x in between. And you just pull during fusion events. That's what I do. You know, and you get a lot of shards doing it that way. Alright. So here we go. Here is our awesome Raf-Matab. Right, so A1 is going to be increased cooldown. A2 is provoke and block damage. A3 is going to be the increased resistance reflex damage. And then this one is this champion's resist is increased by 50 whenever active skills are not on cooldown. And then resist aura. So you know what would make this champ really, really good is if this came with a cleanse. Right, so anyways, I feel like it's okay to have like just a variety of different champs that can do different things in your account, you know, especially the more you push endgame. For me personally, I feel like he's not an endgame champ. So let me be clear here, he's not an endgame champ, but there is potential here, right? So that's the way I see it. I'm going to be spending the rest of this time filling out the faction guardian crypts, and that's it. I'm glad you stopped by for this quick summoning session. I want to do a video on Drexar. Actually, maybe we'll do it tomorrow. And Yannicka, those two, I want to do a video on for the Philos Better community. But yeah, that is how you weigh guaranteed champ events versus 2x events versus 10x events versus fusion events, right? So it always goes fusion first, maybe 2x if you really need to pull, and then guaranteed champs, and then 10x, right? So try your best to skip as many events as you can, basically, so you can stock up on shards and pull them. Shards are better left unopened, yo. See y'all.